Russia has presented the updated Il-114-300 and Superjet 100 aircraft abroad for the first time and has signed its first international contracts. As of today, these are the only passenger aircraft of this class in the world that have been created entirely in one country. Why did their premiere take place specifically in India? And why are we once again going against the wind? We'll talk about this, as well as the new heroes of the week, in today's episode after a brief summary of positive news. The first batch of the latest automated ZUBR systems for protection against drones has been delivered to the troops. At the Amur Gas Chemical Complex, the world's largest compressor for processing hydrocarbon feedstock has been successfully launched. New electrolyzers have been put into operation at the plant of the Siberian Chemical Combine of Rosatom. Russian railways conducted successful emergency mode tests of the contact network for the future restored high-speed railway. The first modernized ground station for satellite communication has been built. In Novosibirsk, a production facility for ventilation system components has been opened. In the Kaliningrad region, a fish farm, and in the Vladimir region, a dairy complex. Russian scientist Ivan Ramazov solved one of the eternal problems of mathematics in the field of differential equations, which the best minds in the world had been working on for 190 years. The main premiere at the Winx India exhibition this week featured the Russian Il-114-300 and Superjet 100 aircraft. Both models, after being updated, got rid of imported components and became the only aircraft in the world in their class whose production is located in a single country. For comparison, their direct competitors, such as the European turboprop Aire da Trasporto Regionale 72 and the Brazilian Embraer E-Jet E2 were in. They use components from dozens of countries, including key ones such as Pratt and Whitney engines, avionics, hydraulics, and other critically important systems. Even the Chinese Komaxi 909 flies with American General Electric engines and contains many other foreign components. Basically, all modern global aircraft manufacturing is based on deep international cooperation. This has its advantages, as it allows you to choose the best components, produce them more cheaply due to scale, and standardize maintenance around the world. For this reason, Russia was also integrated into global supply chains up to a certain point, and our Il-114-300 and Superjet 100 were flying with foreign engines. However, the events of 2022 showed that international cooperation, whose key capacities are concentrated in the hands of Western countries, is nothing more than a fiction and serves as a tool of political pressure. Russia had to urgently carry out the Russification of its aviation industry, and we managed to accomplish this task in record time. The updated Il and Superjet flew to India under their own power, proving their capabilities. However, this is just the start of the struggle, not the end. It's not enough to produce a good airplane. You need to make it accessible to buyers, and that's only possible with mass serial production. This was well understood in the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, so they supplied loyal countries with their airplanes, often on credit, or set up licensed production there. The laws of economics haven't changed since then, so that our superjets and Il-planes aren't prohibitively expensive for Russian airlines either. It's necessary to increase their production by selling abroad, but as you understand, the market has long been divided among the largest corporations, and no one is waiting for Russia there. Almost no one. India remains our strategic partner in the field of equipment procurement, and we have good experience with successful joint projects. In the late 1990s, we began Su-30 deliveries, and in the 2000s started producing special Su-30 MKI versions at India's Hindustan Aeronautics Limited facilities. This cooperation continues to this day, and is one of the most successful examples in the world. Yes, Russia had to transfer some production technologies to its partners, but it received income from the sale of almost 300 aircraft, which was used to develop its own industry and create new aviation. Now, joint production of the Su-57 is being discussed under a similar scheme. Another brilliant example is a similar partnership in the production of T-90S tanks. We started with the supply of finished products and then helped set up their production in India with an ever-increasing level of localization. As a result, India received over 1,000 T-90 tanks of various modifications. Now it's time to apply the proven model to civil aviation as well. In 2016, the government of India launched a large-scale program called Ud-Desh Ka Aam Nagrik, which literally translates as "let the common citizens of the country fly." The fact is that this country has problems similar to ours, a rather large territory with many hard-to-reach places, where at certain times it's impossible to get by ground transport. The government program involves building new regional airfields, subsidizing tickets, and measures aimed at improving the country's connectivity and making flights more accessible. Not everything is going well. The Soviet An-24 fleet is outdated. Modern Western counterparts are expensive, but most importantly, their production is located far away, while India is consistently implementing a Make in India strategy. This is where Russia once again makes an attractive offer to launch joint production of regional aircraft. At the recent exhibition, an agreement was signed that paves the way for the production of superjets under this scheme. The Il-114-300 faces the same fate. Its main competitors, the European turboprop Aire da Trasporto Regionale 72 and the Canadian de Havilland Canada. De Havilland aircraft of Canada 8 are more expensive and less suited for operation from short and unpaved runways, which is the main advantage of REO. Its takeoff run length is to use small regional airfields, which are predominant in the Ud-Desh Ka Aam Nagrik program. In addition, the landing gear design allows the aircraft to be safely operated on unpaved and poorly prepared runways, and the built-in stairway makes servicing easier. The TV-7117 ST-01 engines and AV-112 propellers provide high thrust during takeoff and efficiency at cruising speed, which is optimal for short routes. Right during the exhibition, our pilots gave their Indian colleagues a demonstration flight on the Il-114-300 that lasted more than an hour. This is a good demonstration that we have nothing to hide, and we are 100% confident in our product. So we have every chance to take a niche in the Indian civil aviation market, which is the third largest in the world. And by 2030, it will grow to $26 billion. And that means there will be demand for both a new model and a new industry. Of course, this is not a quick path, but we're used to it. We've already gone against the wind and learned to build airplanes on our own. Now we need to go beyond national boundaries and compete with leading Western manufacturers. And both Russia and India will only benefit from this. At the Wings India exhibition, a contract was signed not only for the Superjet, but also for the delivery of the first Il-114-300 aircraft to a local airline. But even earlier this year, aircraft deliveries to Russian customers will start. We've worked toward this for a long time and achieved clear success. We believe everything will work out.